And welcome back to the Gadget Spot.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah!
Pew!
Woo!
Pew, pew,
Yeah!
pew, pew, pew. I took that from James this time.
You did.
Hey guys, my name's Owen, and I like to read literature out of books, preferably user manuals.
I don't know what to
Solar
go.
energy future.
Yeah,
All right, let's get to the introductions.
I
I
do.
was trying to do Owen, but
It was it's pretty good. I'm
It's-
shaking my head, listener. I'm shaking my head.
Listener.
Yeah,
Dang it,
just one.
Just the one.
Just
it's
the one.
probably me from the future. Hello, me from the future.
Hey.
Anyway.
hello, past tense Owen.
Yeah.
So let's introduce ourselves.
I
then.
haven't said anything yet.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's keep going.
Power through, power through.
Owen.
Hey. I had a frog in my throat there. Sounded too much Starburst.
He's
over
gone
here.
through 20 Starbursts already.
5, maybe 6.
Let's count the... Oh, you threw the wrappers away. You threw away the
yeah.
evidence.
I'm Owen. Follow me on Twitter at TechNoan. And stuff. My gamer tag is, if you follow me, you'll get that too.
You post it on Twitter regularly.
Yeah.
Hey
I have an auto response now. 'cause
Gamer
I-
tag is
'cause
still Morty.
I like it.
You
So.
post way more than I do on Twitter. I actually
No, I
really
don't.
like your Twitter posts.
Yeah, hey, thanks.
Yeah, I like your retweets. I like everything you do.
Yeah.
You just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Sweet.
I
There
like
you go.
Way to go, Owen.
I retweeted a thing today about something, but I don't remember what it was.
About Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah, that's right. It was about Brandon Sanderson. That's what it was.
Big news.
He's going to be Brandon
making
Sanderson.
movies.
Got DMZ or something?
He's going to be a
Yeah. They bought the rights.
multi-millionaire.
Bought the rights to his whole Cosmere series. which is
DMZ? What are you talking about?
DMG.
No, it's not.
DMG.
Yeah, I
Can
think
you start from the ground
DMG.
up? What are you guys? Who is this guy that you're talking
Brandon
about?
Sanderson's
He's
a
an
really...
Mistborn.
It's an author.
Who?
Mistborn.
What is that?
Oh,
The
man.
book series he writes. One of them.
He did a lot.
Okay.
He
And
li- he
bought
lives-
the rights to him?
He's a local. He's an
No,
American Bork.
he had the rights bought for his whole book universe, which is fairly large.
Do you know who bought him?
DMG.
DMG.
Who's that?
Who is that?
A
This
movie
is-
production company.
Dedicated minor graphic. That was wrong.
I feel like
I don't
you made
know.
that up.
I did. I don't know who that is.
And so the movies are going to go into production?
Possibly or
Yeah.
TV. I hope.
No, it's
I
going to
hope,
be movies.
I hope it's TV because
It's movies.
Well, as long as they don't
Means
do
I
an
can
Elantris movie, I'll
Yeah.
be okay. Because that book sucked.
Yeah.
But all of his other books are good, right?
Yeah,
right?
they are. The
Who
other
are
ones
you?
I've read.
I'm Jarron.
Where can we find you?
At Jarron.
He pulled that right back on course. I appreciated that.
No,
Yeah, you're welcome.
thanks, James.
Thanks, James. See, I told you I did that before.
I think Jaren's done.
No, that's all I get. No, I am not done.
Okay,
up, guys?
What else you got,
done.
Jaren? Too late. All right, James.
What's up, guys? My name's
Hello.
James. You can find me on Twitter, JDD Jensen. If you want to play with me on Battlefield 1, you can find me on Xbox One early in the morning and on Sundays.
How early?
Sundays. What?
How early?
Oh, I was joking. That's like my early morning, like
you don't look like
DJ Zoo radio voice.
because you don't look like an early riser.
No.
No, not even a little bit at first. But I'm at Funeral Taters at Xbox One. This last time I had
Funeral Space Taters.
yeah, I had like 30 listeners add me.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like we are rocking full cruise now. It's pretty awesome. What's up, Doodly Doo?
I wish I had time to play games and play games.
Yeah, I got semi-aggravated at you the other day because you wouldn't buy Battlefield 1.
Because I don't have time to play it until Thanksgiving break. That's when I'll buy it.
You wonder who I really want to play with?
Jarron.
Our host.
Who's that?
That's me.
Stop with these segues. You're too professional.
I'm Tony, a.k.a. Quad T Tony. You can find me on Twitter at Quad T Tony or on the Geek Show podcast as well, which I produce and am a panelist on.
And you are a joke assassin on there. They're
Sometimes. Lately, I have not been because we've been short on people.
Yeah.
So I've had to talk more. It's brought my laughs per joke down because I've had to dip into stuff that I know isn't as good a quality.
Yeah.
Like, well, to be
To
fair
fill
to you,
space.
I set in on Broken News this last week, and the way that the table's set up that they have, so how we have it here at Gadget Spot is two people look across at the other two people, which is a great way to hold a conversation.
Yeah.
But the way
Hey,
that they
Owen.
record
Hey.
Geek Show
Hey, Tony.
is at a U-shaped table, and you sit at the head of the U, at the U-shaped table.
I do.
And
So
it's,
you command the table?
I do.
No,
Wow.
it's
No, I
hard
mean-
to like
Yeah.
interject
Everybody focuses
conversation
oh, right.
because
they're going
everybody is
across.
focused across.
Mm.
And yeah, it was.
I do.
it was
So-
difficult.
I do control the soundboard, so maybe I'll just turn mics off.
Yeah, pay attention to me now.
In both podcasts, I control the soundboard.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you've only had to turn ours off once,
It's
right?
true. It's true.
James, what is your relationship with the Geek Show? I've never figured this out.
I'm the video producer. I supply all of the merchandise. I do the marketing. I I don't know. I do
So
a lot of different.
where's
I'm a-
our merchandise and marketing?
Hey, you know where my affiliation with the Geek Show is?
Well,
A listener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Sometimes.
never
That's my
listened
favorite
to it.
affiliation.
Yeah.
you want to know where our merchandise is? Check us out at patreon.com
Really?
/the Gadget Spot. Take it away, Tony.
We got a Patreon. Patreon.com /the Gadget Spot.
If you want to listen to us, maybe buy us a pizza. Get on there. Guess what? It's a
Completely voluntary.
completely voluntary.
If you want to, cool. If you don't want to and you just want to download and listen, totally fine.
Yep.
Wait,
I don't care.
it's not the Gadget Spot.
No, it's Gadget Spot.
It's
sorry.
Gadget Spot.
Okay.
Patreon.com /Gadget Spot. Just kick us a couple bucks a month. The only thing,
If you want.
yeah,
don't have
it's
to.
not mandatory. We're not going to take this show away from you. We're not going to limit this show in any way, shape, or form. But it'll just open up more avenues for extra stuff.
And
for
we,
you guys.
we have one patron so far. It may or may not be a panelist on the Gadget Spot.
Why do you got to say that? Shut up.
He's trying to grease the wheels.
I'm
And
greasing
you're-
him.
And no, not you, James.
Oh.
And you're WD-40 in the wheels.
I'm
and
degreasing him.
Eating away at the
Well,
grease.
looks like at the end of this episode, we got 3 new Patreon people that are going to be donating.
Who's
Right?
that?
I think
right?
He's looking at us.
He's
Right?
looking right at me.
You're going to donate 3 times.
Oh, crap.
Maybe if I don't move, he won't see me.
It's like a
I
T-Rex.
just signed up.
Alan Rickman. All right.
Okay, let's move along with. We got a lot of stuff to cover today because it's been
Can I go first?
So much
it's
news.
been a busy 2 weeks.
Can I go first?
Yes, James.
Really?
You may.
All right.
Wait, is he leaving after this? Then?
No, absolutely not. I'm going to be
probably the
preparing
horrible green
something
drink.
for you guys once I get done because I don't have a lot more to
Right.
add after this story. And I'm going to prepare a
You
surprise
never
for you
have
guys,
much to
listeners.
add.
That's a lie, Jarron.
I got it right here and right here.
Hey, those are middle fingers.
So I wanted to take a minute and review the brand new game that just came out October 21st, I believe it came out. Battlefield 1.
Yeah, it looks so good.
It is amazing. Like
What
if
system?
I was going to avoid this game, but you might have changed my mind.
everything
Is this
you
the World War One that you
Yeah.
had issues with, right? Because
Yep.
it's like too.
Well,
Well,
James will get to
That's
it.
what I
okay.
wanted to talk about is I was a little bit weary of this game because I don't know
It's,
anything.
it's wary. If you were weary of it, you'd be tired of it.
Hey, do you want everyone loves a grammar Nazi?
Yep.
I was a
Words
little
matter.
bit wary
Words
of this
matter.
game.
Hey, high
A
five.
word Nazi.
Boom!
Yep.
And because of what Tony said, because I personally don't know very much about World War One because the majority of the games that I play take place either in modern times or World War Two. But this game takes place during World War One, and which is the first mechanized war
you
or
could
something.
say that.
First modern war.
Yeah,
But
the
it
first
was
modern.
it's just known for being a terrible, terrible war. A
Just
ton of people died.
gruesome.
I mean, it created the Geneva Conventions. Everything were born. I think human civil rights
Yep.
in wartime were born out of this war.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because it was so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and this game definitely, from the very beginning, as soon as you open up the game, it sets that tone of reverence.
You're talking about the campaign.
reverence for the game. Well, no, even, well, yeah, actually for the campaign, yeah.
I was just saying,
Well,
the
I'm trying-
multiplayer has
No
no
reference.
I'm trying
reference
to.
for World
they
War
I'm
could-
I.
trying to remember if there is like an opening sequence as soon as you open up. I believe that there is an opening sequence as soon as you open the game that makes you watch it, but it's very like. I mean, the campaign just takes my breath away at certain points. It's
So
very intense.
does it go over like how the war started, the politics of it?
No,
It's not. It's not a history lesson
that's
at
in
all.
That-
World War One sim.
That's too bad because it's really interesting, and they had a chance to educate a bunch of nerds.
But
you
that's
know?
what Wikipedia is for.
I'm not gonna go. I would have never gone there.
But what's kind of cool is the campaign is split up into 5 different parts, I believe. The first part is
5 different stories.
5 different stories. Sorry, first one's in a tank. Second one is in an airplane, and so on and so forth. One in the trenches. One on boats.
One on a horse, isn't there?
One on a horse. Yeah. I haven't played too much of the campaign. I played maybe 3 or 4 hours in the campaign. The majority of the time, I'm in multiplayer. And oh my gosh, if you own a headset, play this game with a surround sound headset.
Ooh.
Because there's nothing better than like hunkering down in your trench and hearing the bullets whiz over you. Like everything that you liked about Battlefront, take out the Star Wars stuff and then put it in Battlefield.
That was the only thing Jarron liked about it.
No,
I'm out.
the sound design in this game is phenomenal. The graphics are amazing. Just the fact that you're sitting there and a bomb goes off right next to you and it splatters mud all over the side of
So
your face.
is it kind of like Battlefront style graphics? Because in Battlefront they took like actual textures from the real world to build out the levels.
It looks as good, if not better,
Sweet.
than Star Wars Battlefront,
I'm
in
gonna-
my opinion.
I'm gonna have to get this if on PC if I get it.
Exactly.
So speaking
Because I got to play it at higher res with
love-
better
oh, man.
textures.
I would love to see it
PC
at 60
Master
frames.
Race.
So is there a lot of like World War II guys running around teabagging each other?
World
then? Is
War
that-
One.
World War One. Sorry,
all the time.
teabagging just
No,
in their like in their weird saucer helmets, being like, I don't have a.
Well, it is interesting.
All
how-
reverence has gone out the window.
Yeah, that's the multiplayer has no reverence.
I love the game. I mean, it's the small things that make this game work. Like when you raise your gun, like if you were just swimming in water, you raise your gun to shoot, it's like dripping with water. You know, if you raise your gun and you were just crawling in the trenches, it's like covered in mud. It's the small
That's cool.
Does it
details.
jam?
Not as far as I've seen so
that
far.
would be interesting.
However, it does take its time when you're reloading these weapons. It's super authentic, like weapon reloading
Ugh.
animations.
I don't
like reloading the revolver. It like takes it out and then he's got to. I don't
One
know.
bullet in at a time.
Yeah, one bullet in
Oh,
at a time.
man. That would drive me
Eat
crazy.
an MRE, clean off his boots, put it back together. The whole
So how's the interface? So like before you actually get into the game, because Battlefield 4's interface
Is awful.
terrible.
But this one, it's super, super intuitive, user friendly.
You know what?
It's amazing.
Battlefront's interface is awful too.
well,
Let's
it's
be
awful in a
honest.
different
It's
way.
way
It looks
better than
simple.
Battlefront.
Yeah.
Battlefield 4 doesn't look simple, and
That's
it's not
true.
simple.
Battlefront-
Battlefront looks simple, but it's not simple.
Exactly. Thank you.
Now, the only additions...
There were options on Battlefront that I didn't know existed.
I know.
For the first month that I played because I didn't move the joystick around enough on the main screen. There's stuff down at the bottom that's just sitting there waiting for you to look at, and you don't even know it's actually part of the menu. Anyway, continue.
The only improvements that I have for this game is I'm a huge non-player character NPC fan. That's one thing that Titanfall just nailed. Like the fact that you're able to run through the battlefield. NPC. What did I say?
Non-player character. You're right.
Non-player character.
Yeah,
NPC.
I understand that, but what do
yeah.
you mean by you being a fan of it?
He likes having them in the game.
Yeah, because it makes you feel like a bad A, just running around being able to pick off like 10 people before you die. Versus in this game, you're playing against 40 people, which
Holy cow.
gives like 3 or 4 snipers the opportunity to kill you at any given time.
I
Like
would be
Battlefront.
horrible at this game. I'd be horrible.
Yeah.
Well, you get used to it. The other thing too is
You just live in your own
people-
little section and like stay there.
you get used to dying all the time.
Yeah, that,
You get used to spawning and getting shot in the
People
head.
need
Me
to
too. I do.
stick to their freaking classes in this game too. Like if you're a medic, heal people and lay down like health packs. Don't sit there because healers have an amazingly accurate single shooter gun, right? But they use that as like an assault class kind of gun, and you're not assault class. You're healers.
Yeah, healers.
And the other thing is, what else? I had 3 things. I don't remember what the third one is, but it's an amazing game. I highly suggest playing it. It is absolutely worth $60. Oh, battle packs. Every time you get a battle pack, which is just the aesthetic stuff, or it unlocks new guns that you hadn't had before. Every time you get one, it only opens up one thing. And I don't know why that bothers me.
That's slow.
I'm used to like 4.
That was one of the things that bothered me about Battlefront was the slowness in leveling up your multiplayer character and getting new guns.
Whatever, dude. It was fine.
It was slow as crap.
Yeah,
is
that's
what it
exactly
was.
how this game is.
Ah.
But other
So
than that,
what do you rate it?
a solid 7.5 out of 10.
Why?
Wow, I thought you'd go higher than
Yeah,
that
I was-
for how much you were.
Your enthusiasm was a
Yeah.
9.
Well, here's the thing: is like perfect 10 games don't happen to me. I have yet to find a perfect 10 game.
You ever played The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time?
See, that's the thing: is that's objective. Like,
That's a perfect 10.
I guess when I first played that, it's a perfect 10.
Did you ever
but
play
it-
The Witcher 3? That's a perfect 10.
No, Witcher
played
3 gives me too
Halo?
many options.
CE, Combat Evolved.
That's a perfect 10.
No.
You know what? I'm going to reevaluate my plan
Hey.
and bring back my top 10 video games of all time
Top
with ratings.
5.
Top 5. And that's all I
I'm
had.
still surprised. I mean, I'm surprised you gave it a 7.5. I'm surprised you didn't give it like a 9.
Well, that's the thing is,
You know,
it's a really, really, really good game, but
What-
it's
how many
online.
reallys do you have to have in front of it to have a 9?
What did it lose marks on for you?
Yeah, let's look at that.
What took away 3 points?
2.5.
2.5. Sorry, I don't do math good.
Gosh. I wasn't.
You don't have anything
the,
to say.
The sound, yeah,
You just said the sound was great.
yeah, I know. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like
The sound is just
the graphics are good.
it's too good.
Sound is good. I don't know, honestly. Like, I think maybe that's why. Like, I'm rating it as 7.5 is some people's 10. So like games that are above a 7.5 are just phenomenal. You know what I mean?
Your rating system makes no sense.
Yeah, that's not.
I have one.
That doesn't work.
You have to feel the rating in your heart, and in your gut,
and it gives
and
me,
in your crotch.
and it,
3 places.
7.5, 3/4 of full.
All right, okay.
Huh.
But don't think of it like 7.5 like a C. Think of it as like a 7.5 is really good.
So your
you're
scale average game is a 5.
Yes.
So you're
Okay.
a snob, and
But-
your 7.5 is our 10. Most people's 10.
Yes.
Okay.
But your 10 doesn't exist, so your 10 is your 9.
Well, that's the thing. Is
Yeah,
that
I'm
he's
so
right.
confused
He's
now.
right.
objectively speaking, I have to agree with Tony. Ocarina of Time at the time was a perfect 10.
Right.
Does it hold up? Absolutely not. So, like, at the time, Ocarina...
get out of my
And I
podcast.
agree with Jarron. The first Halo was a 10 at the time.
Yep.
I didn't say that.
He should have because it
should've.
was.
It was
I
awesome.
said it was a 10.
Yeah.
Well, let me review Halo as a player who's never played it
Oh, man.
Because
until
Jarron just finished
this year.
Halo for the first
Yes,
time.
I did.
Last week.
Oh,
Yeah.
the first one.
Got
First
Xbox One S, playing the Master Chief Collection,
Oh,
played
yeah.
the first Halo. Oh, man. First, let me say, I'm playing Halo 2 now, and I'm enjoying Halo 2. Now let me get into Halo 1. That is a dumpster fire of a game.
Oh.
I
Oh,
don't-
man.
I don't agree.
Not
it
even
is
a little bit. I
so
agree.
bad. The level design is terrible.
But you can shoot the pistol all the way across the level.
There-
And it's super accurate.
There are a few...
Totally realistic.
Totally realistic.
The first half of the game is... it's okay. It's pretty good for the time. But once you get to the second half of the game...
Pretty okay for the time.
Yeah.
Namely...
I don't get this guy.
This was like 2002, 2003 when it came out?
Well,
All right.
It was
Once you get to the
2001.
library...
I think it was 2001.
That game goes downhill so fast. The library is like
It's a library.
library,
Library. With the strawberries.
strawberry.
That's two in one podcast.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, high five.
I don't get it, but I'm
What?
high fiving.
Words
Booyah.
matter.
I don't get it, but I want you guys to like me.
Once you get to the library, the level design is terrible. Every room looks exactly the same, and you go through this room at least 20 times.
Well,
There's-
you're judging the worst level on that game. Play 2 Betrayals and then come back to me and tell me how much you don't like that game.
Let me finish. So you play through the library forever.
No, this is ridiculous.
Same thing over and over
Next
again. You
topic.
go up 4 levels. You finally get to the end. Once you're done with the library, you think, "Oh, finally, I'm out of this terrible place." But no, you backtrack through half the game.
You're
Yeah.
like, you like, and you
2
but-
Betrayals is one of the levels that you had previously played backwards. It's amazing.
No, it's not, because that level wasn't good to begin with. So at this point, all the flood is coming. They're at you everywhere. So
Yeah, what are you going to run through the flood? You got to run back away from them.
they'd eat you.
You can't run through the flood.
let me review the game.
We are.
All
Just
right.
slowly.
So you're backtracking through the levels. There's this one point where you have to kill a bunch of these enemies. Fine, whatever. That part's okay. But the checkpoints, once you get past the checkpoint, it'll finally let you save. And if you don't get past it, you have to replay the whole thing. There's this one point where I fought through like hundreds of flood, get to a hallway. At the end of this hallway is a flood with a rocket launcher. There's nowhere to dodge, nothing to do, and the rocket launcher takes like half a second to kill you because it kills you in one shot.
Yeah.
So I replayed this section of the game 10 times.
So
Did you pass it though eventually?
you know what this sounds
Eventually.
Because
You know what
that's
this
And
sounds
then-
like? This sounds to me like
No.
Sounds like you had a good time.
Well, that's
this
the thing.
game is too hard.
Video
this
games
game is so hard.
Video games through a
No,
certain...
I respect a hard game, but this is hard for all the wrong reasons.
But you beat
And
it.
then-
You overcame it. You grew.
Didn't you feel
I
better?
didn't- No, I didn't. It made me feel angry at the game. Then finally, the last level, you ride in the warthog for like 6 minutes, whatever. That part was okay, but the warthog is the worst physics
isn't it great?
of a car that's ever been made. You hit a pebble, it suddenly flips over.
At best, I think is what you meant to say. Best physics.
Ugh.
Yeah, they
messed up with what you
incorporated
said.
gravity.
I had to replay that last warthog section.
You messed up what
another
you said.
6 or 7 times.
You'll like-
It's an amazing game.
You'll like Halo 2
it,
well.
it flips over for no reason at all.
Halo,
Okay,
in
now-
my opinion, Halo progressively gets better.
Definitely.
Until 4.
And-
I didn't really like 4 very
Well,
much.
The
you're
story,
wrong.
the story was not
Also wrong.
the story was not engaging at all.
Oh, no, it's 5 that I didn't like. That's
Five's the newest one.
That
All right,
one's great.
guys,
That was fantastic.
I am out.
No,
I'm leaving.
What's your?
No, you gotta
I'm
stay.
gone.
You gotta stay for the surprise.
What do you rate it as?
Hold on.
I'm still going through the story here.
Take my moderate approach where average games are 5.
That's how it should be, honestly, in all reality. Anyway.
Thank you. That is, yeah. I feel like
So-
too many people give perfect 10s. In my opinion.
I've played the first few levels of Halo 2. I'm like totally engaged in that story.
Yeah,
that's
a good one. Yeah.
Halo 1, the story is
Random.
not
Now,
great.
Hold on,
It's
hold on. Let
random.
me.
It's-
Halo 2, the way that it starts is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great. And Halo 2 fixes all of the weird physics, all the weird gameplay issues.
Remember
that,
the first
that I
time
hated about Halo 1?
In Halo 2
Now-
that you guys dual wield.
Oh man.
Oh yeah,
Bam, 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 bam.
with the
Awesome.
SMGs.
Yeah, once I figured out I could just stagger my weapons and keep constant
Yep.
fire. And then they took it away because that was cheating.
Yeah, it was too
I
powerful.
thought it was the Covenant pistol with the SMG that they took away in like multiplayer or something like that because
Dual wielding.
one shot takes their
They
shield.
took out
and
dual wielding altogether. I thought.
in the subsequent
Yeah,
Halos
the
they did.
subsequent
But
Halos.
in my brain, I'm comparing Halo, the original Halo, to like the Jedi Knight games, Jedi Outcast, Jedi Knight. Those games at the time were amazing, and I don't think Halo was any better than those.
Well, you're just saying it's an amazing game by what you just said.
It's a different kind of game though than those.
Now this is
What
I
I'm
was trying-
saying,
this is
back,
what-
hey, I never said back then it wasn't a good game. Right now, it's not a good game. Back then,
That's what I've been trying
it
to
was probably
explain to
okay,
you.
but
I've been trying to explain to you this all week. It is a product of its time, and in
Yeah,
2001, it was revolutionary.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
changed the way first-person shooters are made on console.
but this review is a review as a gamer who's never played it, playing it today.
So you sound like me when I read Dune a few months ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
Crap is this?
I hated that book.
I
I didn't hate it. It just
I
was
wanna
not
read
that
Dune.
good.
I started
Yeah,
it.
go
and
for it. I
I'm
dare you.
done. I can't do it.
Anyway, I never want to play that game again. I give it a 4.
Was that Bungie's first game?
Second
No.
game. Their first game was Marathon.
Okay.
No, they made like Myth and stuff.
Myth. Never heard of that.
This was their big
Exile?
break though.
It was,
This was-
it's Myth. It's like they made it for the Mac originally.
That's
It was like
Marathon.
real time strategy, kind of top down, but a little bit more 3D.
Hold on, I'll Google it.
Okay.
Oh.
The only
This
one
was before they were bought.
the only one I'm familiar with is Marathon, and that was also a Mac game.
But this was their big break.
This was their big
and
break
they
for
sold
sure.
their soul and the rights to Halo and
Yeah.
everything to Microsoft. That's how they got it shipped with
So-
the first Xbox and everything.
Nope.
That is correct. Back when before Halo launched, I remember I was a subscriber to PC Gamer magazine.
Me too. And I remember reading about
And
Halo, and I was like
read about it
so
on-
excited.
No,
about
And
it.
I
Hold on.
got the demo disc that didn't have a demo, but it had the first video footage of Halo. And I remember watching that and thinking, this game is going to be amazing. And then you didn't hear anything about it for like 2 years.
So
Another game of the time, Half-Life. That was an amazing game.
So
Half-Life is
that's hard to
lightning in a bottle.
beat. So Bungie's games, their first game is a game called Nope that was released on Mac OS in 1990, and then Operation Desert Storm on Mac OS.
Well, spell nope for us.
GNOP!
Okay.
Exclamation point. Third was Third was Minotaur: The Labyrinth of Crete on Mac OS. Then Pathways into Darkness, and then Marathon, and then Marathon 2, and then
Okay.
Abuse, and then Marathon Infinity. What
what about Myth? Myth.
And then Weekend Warrior, and then Myth. Yeah. And then Myth 2.
So they'd made quite a few
Holy
games.
cow.
And then they
I
made a
didn't do my
game called
research.
Oni. Oh, that's way cool. And then Halo.
Oni was like
Oh, yeah.
Was that a branch off of Halo?
No.
No, it looks like it's like an anime game.
It was. I remember when that game came out. It got
'Cause
middling
Oni-
reviews but
Because
it was-
Oni's in the Halo game.
Yeah, Oni is the,
ONI.
Operation of Naval Intelligence.
Is that what this says?
No, this is. It doesn't say a name.
Okay.
Anyway.
Just
So,
Oni.
But
For-
yeah, you're right.
For some perspective, I recently played the original Uncharted as well, and that game does not hold up either.
Yeah.
So,
It's just interesting how many people are already waiting in an
Well-
abandoned temple for you. You know what I
No,
mean?
they
In
meet
Uncharted?
you.
Yeah.
They don't wait. They're there too because they're searching for the same treasure.
Potato.
Potato, potato.
So the interesting thing about Halo being a product of its time, though, you have to remember is first, you're completely right. The story is not good. The story overall in Halo actually, as a whole, isn't that good. What makes Halo so
I
good?
disagree.
No. Listen, what makes Halo so good and what people love about it is they can't separate the two of these things in their head. It's not the story; it's the world building. Now,
Yeah.
Bungie created a very immersive, very amazing, awesome world for these stories to unfold in and things like that. And people are in love with the character Master Chief, Cortana, and the universe that Halo is.
Their humanity. Like,
Yeah. But the story itself is basically there's a bad guy, they're trying to kill us, we need to kill them
there's
first.
some sort of love story in there too. A little
There is
bit,
some,
like
there's
a little
some-
bit of that.
a
You
little
don't
bit
know.
of character development
Yeah,
along the
there
way,
is.
but
and I think people like half naked Cortana too.
well, yeah,
Oh
obviously.
my gosh, she's so hot. I
So-
know she's just ones and zeros.
So
but-
that's the thing with Halo. If everyone was honest with themselves, they would realize that up until about Halo 4, the story was meh. It was all right, but the world building was second to none. I mean, it was awesome. Second thing is, the thing that set Halo apart was the multiplayer, and you haven't done any of that because you're just playing the campaign.
Hey,
Yeah.
in all fairness, I had 2 minutes of multiplayer.
At
Yep.
the same time, I feel like
That's not
hopping
fair.
into Halo multiplayer right now kind of gives you a skewed perspective.
Yeah,
You
well,
need to
Halo-
come through it. You need
Halo-
to come through it all.
Halo 2 is where the quad screen, like
Yep.
me and overnight sleepovers with friends.
Oh yeah, I
really
played a
took
ton
off.
of Halo multiplayer, like local stuff.
Yeah.
And that was amazing.
That was fun. Yeah.
That's another thing that really holds up in people's memory is the good times they had with 4-player split screen.
Like
even
James Bond.
Even
Mhm.
Goldeneye.
Yeah, like Goldeneye.
Yeah.
And they took that completely away in the 5th one. No split screen. No
Gotta-
guest play.
Gotta
no,
keep those graphics up.
no 2-player at all.
That's
not
disappointing.
even in campaign mode.
Is that why they took it away? Was for graphical
Yeah.
reasons?
Yeah.
Even Call of Duty still. Black Ops 3 had 4-player split screen.
Yep. Well, I
Yep.
think you can still play. What is it? You can still play co-op campaign with Halo 5 just over the net.
Yeah, you have
Over
to play
Xbox Live.
Yeah, they have. You can
If
still,
everyone has to have their own Xbox.
TV game.
Ew.
Yeah.
Anyway, interesting. So,
Hey, should I get our surprise ready since
Yeah,
we're
go for it.
transitioning topics? Woo!
Yeah, let's talk about Nintendo Switch while he's gone.
Yeah, it's not like he cares about Nintendo anyway. He sold his Wii U.
That's right.
Traitor.
I made $350 on
Did
it.
you really?
Are you kidding me?
How
much-
many games did you sell with it?
So it came with the new Mario Kart game.
Right. 8.
8. I had Pikmin 3, and Nintendo Land,
Okay.
and like one more. Mario Party. The new
Wow.
Mario Party.
How many
Well
controllers?
Thank you. I had a Pro controller
Uh-huh.
and a regular controller.
Boy, you ripped someone off.
I don't. Yeah.
Just kidding, James. They got an average deal.
Actually,
Yeah.
You did good for yourself on there. That's for sure.
let's talk about the Xiaomi Mi Mix.
What? No, we're talking about
phone.
Switch.
I was joking. I want James to talk
Don't
about
say
it too.
what I'm doing. This is a surprise.
They can't see it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, we'll talk about the Xiaomi Mi Mix. It's basically what everyone wants iPhone 8 to be.
Yeah. Exactly.
Except it's more than that. It has a headphone jack, so
Yeah.
it'll be better than the iPhone 8.
Ooh.
Yep.
Wow. Stinging words.
Not pulling any punches this time, Apple.
So the Mix has like a 92% or whatever screen to
Straight to edge.
Screen
right?
to front.
ratio or
Like-
whatever.
Yeah.
It's like mostly
Edge
screen.
to edge, right?
There's like a millimeter bezel, probably even less than that, around all the corners except for the bottom, where there's a front-facing camera and some sensors.
Yeah.
So the thing is basically all screen. It's made out of ceramic, which is just insane to me because ceramic is really, really hard to work with. You have to like fire it in kilns and have all this massive space to
Not only
make
that,
it.
it's not very shatter resistant, which is kind
Kind
of
of fragile, right?
yeah. I mean,
Brittle.
brittle.
Yeah.
And it's slightly brittle, much more brittle than metal. Obviously,
What are the upsides to having it ceramic versus metal?
doesn't scratch worth anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
it's strong. Other than brittleness, it is a super strong material.
Other than if you drop it, it's strong.
Yeah, which is why it's odd that they chose.
I wonder
ceramic.
what the stress test would reveal. Like, don't they do a drop test?
Oh, I'm sure they
I'd
will.
like to see that.
Well, the thing is you're not going to see. I'd be surprised if you see any of these out in the wild here
This
in
phone's
the
not out.
U.S.
Is this phone even? Is
It's
this
not out yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
it'll
call-
come out in China.
Yeah, they call it a concept phone, but they're selling it.
It's
Only in
basically
China.
a limited release prototype phone. They're honestly what it looks like to me is this looks like a soak test to me. Honestly, they've designed it, they've manufactured a small batch of them, and they're going to sell them, and they're going to see how they do.
This is kind of Xiaomi's thing, right? Like they do market disruption, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
mostly in like putting
Like,
out a
don't
ton
they
of
have-
devices really cheap. kind
Yeah,
of
exactly.
market
Like they
disruption.
find a market that's like doesn't have a lot of competition. They throw something in there at a reduced price, right?
They find something that does have a lot
yeah,
of competition.
that's what I'm saying. Like something that's there, and then like these guys made the Mi box, right?
Yes.
Yeah, same thing where they kind of fit into a
The
niche
interest-
for a lower price.
And the interesting thing about it is it's usually top tier specs as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so this has got a
with Chinese spyware included. So
as
that-
a free bonus.
Yeah,
So this has got a Snapdragon 821 chip, 4 or 6 gigs of RAM, 4,400 milliampere battery, so it's a really big
That's
battery.
a big battery.
Really good specs. I kind of doubt the camera will be that great because they haven't really produced a great camera to date. Nothing in the league of the Pixel or Samsung or iPhone anyway. But basically, it's current gen internals with a next gen body.
Yeah.
I love me a next gen body.
I would feel like I would always press the buttons though. Like edge to edge screen is.
Well, let me
just-
tell you, having a
Edge rejection.
I wish that Samsung
What do they call
would
that?
put that
Palm?
into the S7
Yeah, the
edge
edge,
more
right?
because I hit the edge of that screen all the time and screw
really?
things up. Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah.
Huh, well,
What
hopefully,
do they call that? Edge rejection or
Usually, well, in bigger screens, it's
palm
called palm rejection.
Palm rejection, right?
But edge rejection would,
Right.
be the same thing. But then the problem is if you have edge rejection and you want to use the edge swipe stuff,
Yeah. Then you're fighting. Then you're fighting it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Apple they have edge rejection with their iPad when they went to the smaller bezels on the side.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh.
So like you hold it and your thumb is on the screen, but it's not really doing anything to
Yeah,
it.
that worked out pretty well because I didn't even know they had it.
Yep.
All right, so quick pause from the tech news that we're talking about right now.
Never.
So right now, what we're going to do is this is the kind of bonus content.
Where did you get the glasses from?
Don't worry about it.
He
This
brought
is
'em.
the kind of bonus content
I have
that
paper towels. You don't have to use
Patreon
them.
people would be getting.
Oh, jeez.
What is
I
this?
have brought in a surprise for the list or for our panelists.
It's just brat.
the drink
There's
that
no
I drink
bratin.
every morning.
What?
It is a green drink. I call it Hell Brew. It has a mixture of super healthy ingredients that fill you up in the morning,
And sulfur?
but it tastes like poop. I wanted to record your guys' reactions. Who wants to go first? We're going to go one at a
Wait,
time.
why are we drinking this? Why are you drinking this?
I'm
Just
not
to-
drinking this right
like,
now.
no,
in the mornings.
in the morning. Why
Because
are you?
I have a round face, according to Tony, and
Oh.
this is my way that I can slim down.
Oh no. He's not saying round face. He's saying
Oh, pie
fat
face?
face.
Oh,
I
fat
think it was
face.
best. I think
and-
Moonface was the winner.
Moon-
Yeah,
face,
and
isn't
actually,
it?
you're the one that said it first.
Yeah, Moonface
I
was
was
the
merely,
winner.
Anywho.
I was
Marshmallow
merely,
face.
I was merely affirming your statement.
And I'm showing off the kind
Pig
of
face?
content that people on Patreon that pay $2 a month or donate to us $2 a month. This is the kind of content that they would be getting.
if this isn't good, they're never going to
Yeah,
donate.
they're like, why do I want to watch people throw up?
Well, that was stupid.
All right, Jarron, you are
All right.
up first.
I'm drinking this out of a shot glass.
Yep, here we go. And usually I drink 300 milliliters.
How does it
of this.
smell? How does it smell?
Oh,
Does it smell like poop?
that is
I'm
Don't
not.
smell it before.
Smell it.
Of course
No,
you're going to
don't
smell it first.
If I smell it, I won't be doing this.
oh
it.
man,
Drink
that
it.
is bad.
Drink it.
All right, here we go.
There's got to be a way to do this that
You gotta
doesn't
drink
taste
all of
awful. Just knock it back.
I put
Huh.
I put vanilla.
There's a
protein
mix
in it.
of vanilla with like kale
Yep.
Poop.
and
There it is.
something I quite don't understand.
Just knock it back.
Feces?
Knock it back. Knock it back. All of it.
oh, this is getting worse.
He rips off the band. From this, I can
Oh,
tell how
this
he
is
ripped
getting
off
much worse.
Band-Aids.
I got a
Oh,
chaser. I got to
boy.
open up my chaser. I have a treetop apple grape
why do you
chaser.
torture yourself?
All right, who wants to go second?
I'll go next.
All right,
Damn it.
Batman.
Make
Oh, man.
Owen. Make
I'm-
Owen sit there and squirm.
I'm going last.
Those flavors aren't
Wow.
meant to be mixed together.
That smells like a bad sandwich.
Knock it back.
Did you add like a bunch of salt and oregano to this?
Why do you add that flavor
That
to
is-
it?
Because before it was chocolate, and it makes it that much worse.
That is really weird.
Isn't there another flavor
Could you
of
have
protein
a-
you can add to it?
No.
Yeah, there is.
Yes, there is.
Not
There's
in
like
my house.
50
Not
different
in my
flavors
house.
of protein.
Oh man,
It makes me feel good.
Oh.
It's num nums for my tum tums.
the aftertaste is the worst.
Yeah, that's foul. Whoa. Why would you drink this?
It
You know what? It's because...
It wakes me up every morning.
Nope, I don't know why.
Have
Why
you-
would you drink this?
Have you considered this is?
All right, here we go.
Have you considered that this is what is making your
Only-
face fat?
No. Only Owen is left.
Here I go. I'm drinking out of a pterodactyl shot glass.
It's Pink
no,
Power
that's
Ranger.
Pink Power Ranger.
Pink Power Ranger. I'm sorry.
Give it a little sniff first.
Nope.
Just do it.
It won't go down if I do.
Hold on. Before you take that, so just to set the stage, I'm the one that's closest to the door in any trash can, and Owen is kitty corner from me.
I'm locked in.
He's the farthest away. If
This
he
is
throws
going
up,
on the board.
You barf in my office, I'm going to punch
Right
you.
on the board.
Let's
I'll aim for this way. If you hear the podcast go off,
You're going to
after this,
spew into this.
that won't fit.
Let's put a VR headset on him at
I've
the
had
same
a
time.
lot of sour candy. This is all coming up. Here we go.
Smell it.
Oh, that is not good.
misery loves company, friend.
I don't know why.
Yeah, this isn't sitting well.
There's got to be a better way for you to get
Oh.
those nutrients.
Oh,
What's kind of funny is I've been doing it for a couple
here
weeks
comes
now.
the
and
surprise. Just kidding. I did not vomit, but the aftertaste is very much
it has like an
vegetable.
acidic aftertaste, right?
Yeah, it's very much vegetable.
Let me see the.
My breath is
Oh,
going to
do
smell.
you need to put that in the fridge so it doesn't go bad?
Yeah, I need to go
Fridge
run it
right
down to
here.
the
I
fridge.
think it's already gone bad.
Fridge right here.
It's gone
It's
bad
it's already bad.
weeks ago.
Newsflash. Don't drink it.
I got more. Do you guys want some more?
No.
How much of that do you drink in the morning?
Up to here.
So we just had a shot glass, and you drink how many ounces?
Dude, that's weak. You could drink that in one shot.
Dude, could you do that in one shot?
Oh, yeah.
I just had one shot.
Drink all of this.
That's what I'm saying. You could drink the whole thing. 300 milliliters isn't that much. You should be drinking like 600 milliliters.
Why don't you go to hell?
Maybe that's why your face is
You
so
need to
red.
drink 600 milliliters,
James.
Moonface.
Why?
You're married, right?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? Why are you
'Cause I
doing
need
this to
Have you
yourself?
Why?
seen how hot my wife is? I have to stay hot. And obviously I'm failing.
I don't know. I think she might like it if you're
No, you're
not
all right.
that good looking because then she looks even better by comparison.
Yeah, and she'll have always the upper
That
hand.
chain
Nothing
in
is
this
washing
equation?
the taste of my mouth. Nothing is washing the taste out of my mouth.
Yeah, it's there forever.
Nothing.
It's like a tattoo on your
My
taste
tongue
buds.
is in. My
Have some Warhead jelly beans.
Yeah, that's
that'll help.
Yep. Yep. My tongue is in full revolt.
All right, back to the technologies and the
Your regular
gadgets.
scheduled program.
Well,
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we got let's stick with the video game news. I just want to briefly mention that Red Dead Redemption 2 was announced, and who doggy does that look cool?
Yeah.
That game, well, the trailer had amazing graphics. Who knows what the game will be?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think I'd be willing to bet that the trailer's graphics are 15-ish% better than the in-game graphics.
I love how you don't you put so much anti-faith in like launch games,
Oh.
like game launches,
Everything's
but
everything's a failure.
that's how I think of like promo video game trailers now. It's just like
Yeah.
because I've been burned by like Watchdog and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So like I'll believe it when I see
That's
it.
that's how that's my
when somebody's playing
mantra.
it.
That's why I don't pre-order games anymore, ever.
Which I've done that now.
Good
I
man.
don't pre-order anymore, but
So if you go watch the trailer, it basically has every graphical bell and whistle
It is
that
pretty
you
awesome.
can think of. It looks amazing. You all right over there, Jaron?
Not feeling so hot, guys.
are you gonna throw up?
That's ridiculous.
I didn't even throw
That's
up.
like a shot glass worth of green drink.
I have a
To be fair, it
sensitive
wasn't-
stomach, guys.
To be fair, it wasn't green.
Well, that's true.
It was kind of green. It was
It-
like
it
lime
looked-
green.
Luckily for you, I cleaned the bathroom the other day, so it's nice and
You know what it
clean.
looked like? It looked
If you
like
need to go barf.
It looked like pancake batter. That's what it looked like.
It did. Yeah, accurate. All right, so we'll put a link to the video on our Facebook page, just a
I'll
YouTube
do that right
link.
now.
No, it goes in the show notes.
I'll put it in later.
Yeah, there you go. And it looks amazing. I mean, it's pretty close to photorealistic.
Oh man, I just belched.
yeah.
All that flavor came
Oh,
back.
revenge.
Now the reason I say it'll be 15-ish% not as good looking on the gameplay is because Rockstar, at least with the games that use their Rage engine, what they do is they use the game engine for their cinematics, but they pre-render it with all the graphical settings maxed out as far as they can go, or even further than they'd be able to on a high-end PC.
Yeah, so is the only way that we're going to see at least that close to as good of graphics is if you play it on PC, which you're not going to get it on, right?
Which it hasn't been announced for PC, and Red Dead Redemption 1 didn't come to the PC either. So
At all?
At
Even
all.
still?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
So chance I'm not betting on this one coming out for PC, and that's a shame because they made Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5 work on the PC and work.
After time, though.
Yeah, it was after some time, but and they did it, and it looked amazing. They've had 5 years to do Red Dead Redemption 1 on the PC, and they still haven't done
Well,
it.
if
Lazy.
they follow the same microtransactions that they do in Final Fantasy V, I believe that eventually it will come to PC because they have...
What?
They didn't make Final Fantasy.
Or, sorry, freaking...
Oh, Grand Theft Auto 5?
Grand Theft Auto
Okay.
5. What did I say? Final Fantasy
You
V?
sure did.
You did.
Kind of the
Oh
same.
my gosh! Oh yeah. Sorry, I can't get my eyes off your face and like how you're just going
He's looking
moon
green.
eyed.
A little bit green.
So, I don't think that they would burn the PC market because that's just another opportunity for them to do a cash grab on microtransactions.
I really hope they don't because I'd love to max that thing out on my PC. I'll bet it looks amazing. But yeah, so if you liked Red Dead Redemption 1, which I haven't talked to anyone that's played that hasn't loved it, it's a definite.
I played it and I didn't like it, but apparently I didn't get past the hurdle.
How far did you play into it?
Like 10 minutes.
Oh yeah,
I got super bored in the first 10 minutes and it didn't win me over. But apparently,
Wait, so
if you
the
play
hurdle's
11
after 10
Yeah,
minutes.
it's like at 11 minutes, the game just like blows up in your face, and I stopped right there.
You got the first one. You do need to put a good probably 90 minutes into it before it really grabs you.
And see,
Man,
that's
that's nothing like BioWare games. You have to play like 10 hours to get those.
That's true.
To get past that hurdle.
So anyway, excited for that. Not due until the end of next year though, so plenty of time to replay Red Dead Redemption 1 or play it if you haven't yet.
I'm pretty excited to play. I need to get past that hurdle, and I'm excited to kind of jump into that world. And I'm excited to play the new Skyrim game because I never played it the first time around.
The remastered version?
Yeah, the special edition.
Yeah.
Comes out as of this recording tomorrow. While you're listening, it came out a few days ago.
I just hate so much that it costs $60 at launch. I hate that.
Just wait a few
Well,
weeks.
I have the old version with all the DLC on my PC, so I get it for free.
Yeah, but I don't want to play it for free.
Oh, that's right. They did that.
You sounded like the thing that goes off when they make a basket.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of keynotes this week.
I was not impressed, and in fact, watching so many.
I'm gonna get on my soapbox.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
My name's Tony.
Yeah, my name is Tony, and the keynotes from Microsoft, Google, and Apple are the biggest waste of time now.
Oh man.
They show what they should be able to show in 30 minutes. They take 90 minutes to show, and it is ridiculous.
You know, there's companies out there that just give you all the good stuff like
So,
20 minutes later, right?
Yeah, but I want to know now.
Oh.
I think I'm going to stop watching them. I got back on. I stopped watching the Apple one.
It was
And
so
you
boring.
rage quit.
I
You
rage
flipped
quit.
the table.
I did. I rage quitted, and I flipped the table, and then I came back when I heard they were starting to talk about the Mac Pro stuff, MacBook Pro. But seriously, these keynotes are so bloated and so full of self-congratulatory masturbation, them patting themselves on the back.
Well, that part I slightly understand because they're trying to appease shareholders.
Oh.
But I completely agree.
Oh,
They
yeah.
are too long. They, like, back in the day when Steve Jobs was doing keynotes, like, those were still kind of long, but they were, like, packed.
Him
They
and his black bottom feet.
Maybe it was the reality distortion field, but they seemed better back then, and now they're just...
Apple's had slow, crappy keynotes for a long time.
Yeah,
and
but it's
sadly,
like,
Microsoft
let's show
and-
this feature 20 different ways
I know.
until you don't care about it anymore.
And
Microsoft's
Microsoft
was
and
2 hours.
Yeah, Microsoft
And-
and Google's used to be shorter
Yeah.
and more succinct, but 2 hours this time.
Man, and that guy was a
Oh, he was
So
terrible.
dramatic.
The Microsoft guy?
yeah.
Oh, man.
The worst.
my favorite's like when he was talking about the pixels because they're talking about their studio Surface, right?
Yeah.
Surface
Studio.
Surface. Yeah. And he's like, he just randomly insulted somebody in the crowd. He's like, if you got too close to a TV and it gets all pixelated, he points in the audience and goes, obviously you have,
That
sir.
guy has.
He goes, obviously you have, sir. And we still would have shown the guy.
LASIK. I'll have you
Yeah.
know.
It's
Well,
like,
well,
these are medical.
What we couldn't see was the guy was completely cross-eyed that
Yeah.
he pointed at.
Yeah, I wanted to see the guy
Are
in the
you for
audience.
real?
No,
No,
that's
they,
a
didn't,
joke.
they didn't show him, but I wanted
He's
him
a
to.
bully.
Yeah, obviously.
of
He like
PSAs.
pointed right at him. He's like, obviously you have, sir. It's like,
Maybe he was just really bald.
yeah. Who knows?
all the TV radiation made his hair
Who
fall
knows?
out.
I wish they would have shown the guy.
But he was like way too passionate.
Oh,
but
man.
it wasn't like normal passion. It was like a robot trying to mimic passion.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
That
the
is
worst,
exactly right.
honestly, to me, like, I don't know about the worst, but one of the worst is listening to Tim Cook talk. Because Tim Cook gets up there and he talks like this, and then he finishes his sentence. Let me tell you something about...
Almost like somebody's
Let me-
reading it into his
Yeah.
ear, and there's
Yeah,
like
and
a
then he's
delay in the
repeating it.
yeah.
With a bit of a southern drawl, too.
Let me tell you something about why Apple's so great.
How long
Oh
did
my
Steve
gosh.
Jobs? How long was he grooming him before? he
Not
took
long
over?
enough.
Oh,
Because
years.
Steve Jobs was a good presenter. That guy knew how to work the crowd. He was a little melodramatic, yes, but he was good at it. Who's the one guy that was decent on...
Craig Federighi.
Yeah,
he's
Craig
amazing.
Federighi does a good presentation.
He needs to be the guy in charge
He
of
does.
all the presentations.
And then the one chick, I can't remember her name. She's never presented before. She did the
Photoshop
Photoshop
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
She was good.
Yeah.
She was good too. She's the only one that actually legitimately made me laugh.
Did John
actually.
Ivy? Did he say
Johnny
anything? Yeah, he needs to stop looking at what he's looking at during those like little interviews.
he
because
doesn't present. He just does the videos.
Yeah, but it's so weird. Like just where he's looking, you know, he's seen some stuff.
Have you ever seen pictures of him in the 90s? He was like kind of portly and jolly, but now he's like this buffed up Englishman.
So it gives
I don't
me
know.
hope.
Yeah, me
No.
too. Me too. High five. I'm just in my 90s phase right now.
Yeah.
Portly.
I'm stuck there.
High five, Owen.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Can we call this show the 90s phase?
The 90s phase, yes.
The 90s phase.
So Apple had theirs today. Microsoft had theirs yesterday.
yeah,
right?
let's talk about the devices.
Okay, so let's hit up on Microsoft first because theirs was earlier.
And when we talk about a device, can we say what its competitors are?
Sure.
Yeah.
So first thing they showed was the new Surface Book. New Surface Book. Same as the old Surface Book. I mean, it looks exactly the same.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
upgraded battery, upgraded chip.
Upgraded battery, upgraded i7, and upgraded GPU. So I read online that it's a 965M is their GPU. Now that's what was kind of weird to me is both of the new devices they announced use last gen GPU from NVIDIA.
Yep.
We're on the 10 series now.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is they've been working on the designs
Right.
for this stuff for a while.
They didn't want to go back.
And they already integrated that series into it, and then the 10 series came out, and they're just like, well, we've already done it with this.
There's a reason to make a Gen 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. But then again, there's not much competition for laptops that are thin and light with a great graphics card in there.
That's true, and that come apart as a tablet.
Yeah.
In fact, there's really no competition to the Surface Book right now. They compare it to the MacBook Pro, but the MacBook Pro is less capable as far as different form factors and all of that stuff than the Surface Book is.
Would you upgrade from yours now
No
to this
way.
one?
So
no, I
so
felt
is-
no jealousy at all
Yeah,
about
Yeah,
the new
right?
one.
Like
The only thing
did
that-
enough of the function change that you're like, I
not
need
even-
that one.
Not even close. The only
Yeah.
thing that made me have a slight twinge of jealousy was longer battery life.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, oh, that's cool.
Battery life's already like 12 hours.
It's true,
though,
but this
or
one's
14 hours.
16.
Yeah, but
16 hours of continuous use is huge.
Yeah,
So-
but I feel like this device is being marketed more towards the middle managers at like corporate jobs that are like, oh, cool, something new just came out. I need that. It goes to the IT guy. IT guy replaces it. And there you go.
I still think the Surface Book is the coolest laptop out there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
it's
just
buggy
kinda
and
buggy.
it frustrates me, but it's still the coolest laptop out there.
I agree 100%.
How much are they selling it for?
So that was interesting. This Surface Book i7 comes in 3 different configurations, I believe, and it starts at $23.99.
It starts at $23.99.
Yeah. Well, the reason it starts at $23.99 is because it's got top end specs. Even the base model has the fastest i7
How's the
they
most
offer.
expensive?
So how do they go up from there? Like storage?
Storage,
Ah.
storage, and I think RAM's the same all the way across too.
That's actually not a bad price.
No, that's the
for
thing.
that kind of device.
The MacBook Pros, which we're going to get to, also start the 15 inchers start at $23.99.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I didn't know
same.
that.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's really no reason if you already have a Surface Book to upgrade to the Surface Book i7. This was just them basically saying we have an extra powerful one now for you content creators that need the extra horsepower. But then they trotted out the new prize pony of Microsoft, the Surface Studio.
That was
Which
pretty
is
cool.
competing with what?
I guess iMac.
Yeah, an
Okay.
iMac.
But it is again way more versatile than
And-
an iMac
Yeah,
is.
touchscreen unique, right? Is iMac touchscreen?
No.
Yeah.
No Apple computer is touchscreen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why?
So this thing, once again, for some reason, packs 900 series GPU, but it's a 980M, which is a very capable
Why did they put a
GPU.
mobile GPU in
because
a?
it's very small form factor.
Yeah.
Man, but the
wa-
1080 mobile is as good as the 1080. Why didn't they just use the 1080?
Because the 10 series is much smaller architecture. 10 series is 16 nanometer architecture, and the 9 series is 24 nanometer architecture. Anyway, the point is, with the 16 nanometer architecture, you can fit a desktop chip in mobile form factor. You can't really do that with the 9 series.
So unlike the iMac, where like all the PC components are in the actual screen itself, like behind it, the Surface Studio, like the PC is in the base.
It's in it's in a box. It looks like it's about the size of a hardback book.
Yeah, or like maybe like a Mac Mini.
Yeah.
Slightly different size.
Yeah.
But then it has like 2 little arms coming out of it, and then a huge, beautiful
then a
monitors up top.
28-inch monitor was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
3:2 ratio, so you get more vertical space, which I really like the 3:2 ratio. Actually, I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah, like the Surface Book. I think it's a good ratio for computers.
And they haven't announced the, or at least I haven't seen it, the resolution.
No,
It's very high, though.
They've announced how many pixels it is. It's 13 million pixels. 4K is around 8 million, so it's greater than 4K.
They talked about the screen too, right? The screen it is a thin device.
It is super duper thin.
Yeah.
Because they keep all the components for the computing down in the base.
Right.
And not only is it just super thin, it is the thinnest screen on the market right now.
Right.
But it's touchscreen. You can use the Surface Pen on it, and they have like this cool dial thing.
Oh, that dial was neat.
Dude, that dial was straight out of Minority Report.
The studio dial, right?
So the screen swivels, so you can make the screen flat. You can put the dial on it. Once you put the dial on it, like controls come up around it. You can like rotate the dial, and it's all clicky and stuff.
Which somebody who uses Photoshop and has to zoom in and zoom out on certain images, like that would be fantastic to have like a hand right here and like. It almost turns into a piece of paper that you can zoom in and zoom out.
I think this is like an artist's dream computer right here.
When I saw that, all I could think was graphic designers out there and artists that use computers as their medium. I mean, this thing's money. I mean, it looks like it's going to be awesome.
Stupid expensive though.
How much are we talking?
Starts at $3,000.
Yeah, it's expensive. But you're talking about.
But that's how much we were looking at spending on my computer.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, this is no gaming machine.
But
that's
it'll run games quite well. It's quite capable.
And I can have touchscreen on those games.
It's quite capable if you want to do that with the 980M and the i7 and I think 32 gigs of RAM and it starts, or at least the only model I saw had a 2 terabyte NVMe solid state drive.
That's fast.
And that's super fast and huge.
So
as far as solid states go.
How much of a performance difference is between 980M and a 980?
The 980M, if I remember my benchmarks correctly, is about 20% slower, 15 to 20%.
Not as bad as
no,
I
it's
imagined.
really not that bad. It just looks really cool. So obviously we're not going to get one for our show, but we will definitely be reading the reviews and things.
Microsoft, if you're listening, which I know you're not, you can send us one.
Send us one to review.
Well, and also, they kept port density up on the device too. Like, they kept like. I mean, they've got. It says here they've got 3 USB ports, an SD card reader, a mini display port, Ethernet jack, headphone jack.
You mean they included an SD card reader?
Yeah, and a headphone jack.
Go figure.
Just remember the SD card reader for in a few minutes here.
Yeah.
Talk about Apple.
Yes.
So anyway, that's what they showed off, and they showed off a bunch of new features for Windows 10 Creator Update. I think is what they're calling it.
There was a bunch of like gaming broadcast stuff in there.
Yeah.
None of it really interested me too much.
Basically, they're taking the Xbox gaming broadcasting capability and putting it on Windows 10.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool if that's what you're into.
And a new version of Paint.
That new version of Paint's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, I think it has really cool palm rejection.
Yep,
and you can tip it down so the monitor itself on that Surface Studio
very versatile. Will move up and down.
It looks
back.
you can like tip it to like an art desk, and then the guy leaned on it, leaned on the screen, and was like putting his weight on there and drawing. It was pretty robust as far as I don't think he was putting its whole weight.
I'm sure he wasn't leaning on it that much.
Yeah, but
the other thing that they just breezed over very quickly is Microsoft has teamed up with a bunch of computer manufacturers, Acer, Dell, HP. And they are starting a new line of VR headsets.
Yeah,
that starting price on those is going to be $300. Very affordable as far as VR goes. We have no idea of the quality of these VR sets, but the lowest model will be $300, and it'll go up from there, I'm sure. So they're really pushing to get VR more mainstream, which is neat.
I wonder if they'll update the Xbox to be compatible with that.
Oh, that would be phenomenal.
I wouldn't doubt it, honestly, because, I don't know about Xbox One, but
maybe with Project Scorpio.
But with Scorpio or Xbox One S that has HDMI 2.0 out, so more bandwidth, something like that, you might see something like that. But obviously this is just conjecture on our part.
Yep.
All right.
I'm just excited where we are right now, and then in 2 years to look back and be like, well, that's funny, like Sony's VR failed in Windows, but like I remember when Oculus Rift came out with all this cool stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited to see who wins.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Sony's is good though, so I'm hoping they don't fail.
They're not going to fail. They might fail. Who knows? Okay, that was about it for the Microsoft.
Yep.
So let's talk about Apple. Apple
Let's
fanboy
just dip our
Jarron.
toes.
Take it away.
They announced an Apple TV app. Kind of cool.
Is it Gadget
So, yeah,
TV?
They said, we're going to talk about Apple TV now. And I got really excited. I'm like, yes, a 4K Apple TV.
No way.
Nope, it's just an app that they're going to release on iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV.
Weak.
All it does is aggregate all your video sources.
And how long did they talk about that for?
Like 20 minutes.
I know.
And do you know what
Waste of time.
Do you know what the kicker is? It doesn't integrate with Netflix.
What?
The main source of your streaming television.
See, you say that, but at the same time, I have so much stuff on Ultraviolet, on iTunes, and on like 3 other services. I'm glad that we finally have something that
because it doesn't do Ultraviolet either, because there's no Ultraviolet apps on the Apple TV.
For real?
Yep.
Then what's the point of this thing that we're
talking
about?
If you live in Apple's ecosystem, and if you subscribe to a cable service and are able to download all the other apps like FX and HBO Now or Go or whatever it's called, then it'd be kind of cool. But if you're a cord cutter like me who doesn't have cable and has Netflix and Hulu, all it'll work with is pretty much Hulu and iTunes movies.
Yeah, let me say this again. I'll reiterate it.
Yeah, so
I concur.
That was disappointing. And they announced new MacBooks finally, MacBook Pros to be specific. And whatever, they're new MacBooks. They have new innards. They have Skylake processors in there. 13-inch version, 15-inch version.
Which surprised me, by the way, they went with a Skylake processor because KB Lake mobile processors are available now.
Right.
Oh, KB Lake's the new one.
Yeah, KB Lake's the new one.
Why did they do Skylake?
I don't know.
Okay, now I really don't want one. The screen is the same resolution, has slightly more 25% more color. It's brighter, but the main kicker is it has a touch bar.
Whoa!
Touch bar above the number keys.
Digital touch bar.
Yeah.
So it's like
it's OLED screen. Is it OLED? They didn't say.
All the rumors said it was OLED. I bet it is. But the weird thing is, people that actually touched it and played with it, they said that the touch bar has a matte finish.
That's genius to me, if you ask me.
But
because
I really want to see that.
They talked so much about how you can slide along it and multi-touch, and sliding on a glossy surface like glass sucks.
Annoying.
So Matt's
you do it on your phone all the time. It sucks.
That's what I'm saying.
But
sucks.
What he's saying, Jarron.
This touch bar replaces the F row, the function keys. So if you're in an app, it will, depending on context, change what's available on the touch bar. So what's cool is it'll put a bunch of shortcuts there it should make your workflows go a lot quicker. But what they were demoing on stage was like touchscreen type stuff. Like
that's the whole thing. I was listening or watching that part the whole time and thinking a touchscreen would do this better than a little bar.
Yeah,
exactly.
So like they had a DJ up there. He's like, "Oh, this is going to be revolutionary for DJs," and he's like trying to cram all of his fingers to this tiny touch bar. And like I thought, why not just use a touch screen like Windows has? So while I think it's cool for shortcuts, I think they're missing a huge point here by omitting touch screens in their computers.
Do you think it's one of those things that they're like, well, Microsoft does it and we have to be different from Microsoft?
I'm kind of thinking that is the case at this point. I mean, they'll say like touch screens are meant for iPads and iPhones, and
those are for mobile devices that go in your pockets.
And I'm not saying that they need to redo their whole interface for your finger, but they should make it touchscreen so apps like that would really benefit from
that. Was the funniest thing for me to watch. What's that app that the DJ used? DJ Now or something
like
remember. That. Anyway, looking at the screen, it has a mock-up of a DJ turntable, and you can see all the different buttons and switches and stuff that they'd have in real life. If it was a touchscreen, he would just use those buttons right there, just like he would in real life. Instead, he's got his hands crammed together on that little bar. Well, up on a big screen, right in front of his hands, if it was touchscreen, he'd just be like, touch, 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 done, done, done.
Yeah. So what's weird is these computers have 4 USB-C ports.
I thought that was pretty cool.
It is.
I like that they adopted the USB-C.
It's cool, but they omitted the MagSafe power port now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a downgrade.
Yeah.
They omitted the SD card, which is huge for photographers. Why did they do that?
Because they want you to buy a peripheral.
It's ridiculous. And then
I'm done with their dongles. Just saying that right now.
And they didn't even have the courage to omit the headphone jack. It's on there still. Why would they do that?
I was waiting for a courage.
Where's the
something about
courage?
courage. No USB, like no regular USB what is it? A? They don't have like there's
Type
no,
A.
Yeah, it's no more.
And so
no FireWire again, right? No, or Lightning port. Do they have Lightning ports?
No. All of those capabilities are integrated into USB-C.
Do they
So
have HDMI?
No. So imagine
It's
this.
USB-C.
Imagine
Dongle.
this.
Dongle.
Yeah.
Imagine this scenario. You get a brand new iPhone 7
Okay.
with the Lightning port headphones.
All right.
You have the Lightning port headphones. Like, oh, I want to listen to music on the computer.
Okay.
You try to plug that Lightning port into your MacBook. You can't.
Doesn't it really? Oh, that's hilarious.
So
you can't, and it
now their phones aren't compatible with headphones that you can use on your computer, and vice versa.
Oh,
It's like if they used USB-C audio, I'd be fine with this.
just get the AirPods. That's what they're saying.
Yeah,
and
it's
those-
driving me crazy.
And the AirPods got delayed. They got pushed back.
Oh, really?
yeah. So
Yeah.
now you can't get the AirPods.
So the one thing I did like about the bar is that it has app integration with like Photoshop and stuff.
Yeah.
So like action-packed things like a DJ table wasn't really the best one to show.
Well,
it looked
no,
like
I would say World of Warcraft. That would be awesome, right? Right? Am I right, guys? Am I right? Am I the only one here? The only one here?
Keep going, Owen.
anyway.
Play me
Like
off.
so they showed some Final Cut and some, which is an Apple program, right? Final Cut.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that one I was kind of expecting that. I'm like, oh, of course they did. But what they started showing, they brought the girl up from Photoshop, and
Yeah.
Photoshop is Adobe; it's its own thing. And so to have, then he went on to announce how they've got a lot of other app support. Like a lot of other people have bought into this and are building apps that integrate with that bar, which is pretty cool because I can see, like when I started looking at the Photoshop stuff, I was like, oh, right. It takes away when I go. I hunt through menus all the time in Photoshop.
Yeah.
All the time. And so when you click on an icon, a lot like the Microsoft ribbon does in Microsoft Office,
Yeah.
where you click on whatever you're in your document, and it gives you a whole bunch of options that are contextual for what you're doing. So I thought that was pretty cool in Photoshop how they could do that.
I would say it definitely has potential for certain applications.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool,
exactly.
but I don't think they should omit the touch screen
Or the,
just
No,
because they
not
have
at all.
that.
or the F keys. I mean, come on.
You can put the F keys back. You just got to hit the button.
F that,
No.
man. F that.
Wah, wah.
Bam.
So that was. Did they announce anything else?
Nope, that was it.
Yeah, that was it. And they took way too long doing it. Just like Microsoft took way too long doing the Surface stuff the day before.
And those computers are expensive too. They like totally jacked up the price on the MacBook Pro 13. The cheapest MacBook Pro 13 with the Touch Bar that you can get is $1,800.
Wow. Before it was
Yeah.
like 12.
I think it was before it was like 14 or 15 or something like that. Still,
Yeah,
it's
either way. I did notice too that they're really pushing out the MacBook Air.
Yeah.
They compared the Air to the 13-inch for a good 3 or 4 minutes,
Yeah.
talking about how much better their MacBook Pro 13-inch is
threw
now.
the air under the bus.
And basically they did. So I would venture to say there will not be another refresh for the MacBook Air, and
18 months
within
will
18
probably
months to 2 years they will stop
Toast.
selling them.
Well,
So-
the gimmick for those were they were so thin, but
Yeah.
now their normal pros are
Yeah.
getting so thin. It's like, why?
Well, the 13 is now thinner than the MacBook
thinner.
Air.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
Well, and what I really liked is when they went through all their comparisons about how much better this one is. They just compared it to themselves.
Yeah.
Like none of the other
It's true.
market competitors are just like, we're 67% more effective or better at gaming than our last model.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
you're
are.
still 50%
yeah. like
less capable.
all
than,
of their specs were against themselves, and then like you said, they cannibalized the MacBook Air and just were like, look at this. They
Well-
competed with themselves and made the Air look crap.
And battery life, only 10 hours. I think that's pretty low for today.
This day and age.
Yeah.
When you're looking at my Surface Book that I got last year has 12 to 13 hours, and the new ones have 16. What's really interesting is, this is the Apple tax, how
Right.
expensive these are. Because if you were to compare it to like the new Razer Blade, whatever the one is that came out this year, you'd be looking at roughly the same price for a much more capable system if you want to game or if you want to do heavy lifting with graphics for things like AutoCAD and video editing and things like that. It's not as thin, obviously, but it's still pretty dang thin for the power that it has, and you'd be paying the same or less. So I don't know.
How big is the bevel around the 13-inch screen?
The
Did they bring it down a little
bezel?
the bezels
bezel.
are
That's
much.
what I meant to say.
They're like half as wide as they were before.
Yeah, the bezels are a little bit smaller.
So that's a step in the right direction, definitely. I mean, I'm not trying to sit here and trash on Apple MacBook Pros. Like, they're great for what they do. For people that love the Apple ecosystem, that's great. They're good little machines. But man, they sure are overpriced if you ask me for the specs that you get. You're paying for the industrial design and the thinness. That's what you're paying for. And the screen. They have really good screens.
Yeah,
it's good looking, but
I was hoping for more, like at least the latest generation processor, you know?
So, speaking of which, the GPU they went with was the AMD Polaris, and AMD Polaris is... I mean,
he's speechless.
I am, honestly. AMD Polaris, for the price you pay for their desktop graphics cards, is very good, very competitive. Like the RX 480, pretty much matches with a 1060 roughly. It'll almost punch up to a 1070 on NVIDIA, so it's a really good bang for your buck. But they went with a 460 and a 450 on the MacBook Pros, and that's pretty weak.
I'm anxious
honestly.
to see the trend in their stock prices after today.
I don't get why they don't go talk to NVIDIA, because NVIDIA, the 10 series, if they had done the 10 series, even like the 1060 inside the new MacBook Pros, 15-inch, man, that would have blown some people away, because they talk about it's what two times or 2.3 times more graphic. No, it was 166% or something like that. More graphically capable than last year's MacBook Pro 15-inch.
Why don't you take a stab at it? Why do you think they went with the card that they went with?
Because it's cheaper.
Really? Is that the only thing?
I think so.
Okay.
So Apple's down 1%. Not too much. It's just like daily.
Which I think is kind of funny
right
because isn't it usually up after one of these things?
Not necessarily.
No. But if they would have gone with the 1060 for NVIDIA, it would have been 4 times the graphical performance of last gen MacBook Pros. I mean, way better, way more capable.
Hey, they got to keep those margins intact.
I tell you. So anyway,
let's talk about the Switch.
Let's talk about the Switch. So now Nintendo knows how to do a product reveal. Okay, not really, but
they said nothing. They had no keynote.
It was wonderful. The Switch was announced, which was Nintendo NX, codenamed before. So now we know it's called the Switch. And they just released a 2.5 or 3 minute video commercial, basically, that showed people playing it. They didn't tell you any specs. They didn't tell you.
You mean drones playing it, right?
Yeah, Nintendrones.
Nintendrones.
They didn't tell you anything about how capable it would be. They didn't tell you anything about price.
They just showed you how you're going to shoehorn yourself into certain social situations.
Hey guys, I got a Switch. Oh man, he's got a Switch. That's what it looked like every time. The person with a Switch would approach a group, and everyone would be like, "Oh, drop what you're doing. Let's go look at this."
Yeah, when you know in their mind, they're like, "Gosh dang it, Karen, not another freaking YouTube video." Come on.
You know of the Karen memes?
What? Oh, I don't. Hold on.
That's really what people are calling the girl.
Oh, for real? It's Karen? Hold on, I really didn't know that.
The pretty brown-haired girl near the end of the commercial that waves at people across at the other building, and then takes her NX playing Mario over to their roof party. The internet's calling her Karen.
Yeah, she's got some social issues there.
Anyway,
hey guys, let's play some video games.
So
on a roof.
All of that was to say, it was basically, yeah, guys, we're working on it. It's coming out. And here's a little bit about how it'll work. So you have a tablet that, from what we understand so far, will house all the computing capability of the NX. It is basically a console mobile device hybrid. When you want to play it at home, you slide that tablet into the dock and it plays on your TV. And when you want to take it on the go, you slide the controllers onto the side of it. They look like miniature Wiimotes, kind of.
And they could be 2 separate controllers.
And they can be 2 separate controllers.
Which is awesome.
Which is really cool for on-the-fly multiplayer if you want to just pull out some Mario Kart, because honestly with Mario Kart you only need like 3 buttons.
Yeah, but they showed basketball, and I want to know how that works.
That was stupid, honestly, because it shows these guys playing real basketball and they all stop what they're doing so they can play fake basketball on a 7-inch screen.
I love this first Karen meme that I found. Oh shiz, Karen brought her stupid Nintendo to the party again. We're drinking, Karen. We're having conversations. Hashtag Nintendo Switch.
So anyway, aside from making fun of their video, I'm really excited for the Switch. I think it looks really neat.
So it has NVIDIA internals.
Yeah, they haven't announced specifically what it'll do, which is par for the course for Nintendo. Nintendo rarely comes out and says how powerful, or for that matter, not powerful their systems are.
But from analysis and rumors, it's sounding like it'll be like in between the power of the Xbox One and PS4,
which I'm excited for.
Yeah, which is great for Nintendo.
That's gonna put it at least 3 times more powerful than the Wii U.
Riddle me this then.
Yes.
Is it backwards compatible?
No announcement on that.
Nintendo wants you to buy your games
I heard.
over.
So as far as
it's not going to be
physical media, no, it will not be. It has a new cartridge-based physical medium.
Cartridge-based, right?
Yeah, it's cartridge-based,
Yeah.
which
Really
is neat.
I really hope you can put memory cards in there and
Here's-
download games to
So
the actual system
that would be
itself.
ridiculous if you couldn't. So hopefully you can.
Cartridges.
Here's the thing. Do you think Nintendo is Nintendo the one that's actually manufacturing the cartridges, or are they making the third parties make their own cartridges?
So I believe
How does that work?
in the past,
because that's why other third party companies shied away, right? Because it's so much more expensive to make a cartridge.
Well, back in the
versus
day,
a disc.
it was a lot more expensive, but it was also a memory constraint because your CD had 760 megabytes of space, and your cartridge, the biggest cartridge for Nintendo 64. Now get this: the biggest cartridge for Nintendo 64 was 512 megabits.
Right, that's
which
Tony
you have
Hawk
to-
Pro
Megabits?
Skater number 1.
megabits.
Wow.
And that was there was Conker's Bad Fur Day was a 512 cart, and Donkey Kong Country 64
That's 64 megabytes, ladies and
is
gentlemen.
it's only 64 megabytes. The biggest game on the N64 was only 64 megabytes.
Really?
Yeah. So
Wow.
That's amazing what they did with those memory constraints back then.
especially when they ported over a game like Resident Evil 2 that was on
Yeah.
PlayStation first, and it was a 2-disc game that they ported over to.
How did they
Really?
do that?
Yeah, I'd
They
have
had
to
to
do
cut
some.
content.
I'd have to do some more. No, it had everything.
Can you imagine
all the
Karen's
the full
face?
motion video,
Wow.
everything? It looked a little bit more grainy, so they did have to cut back slightly on the quality of the video of the full motion video. But the graphics themselves actually looked better than the PlayStation version, the in-game graphics. I'd have to do some more research, but I'm pretty sure 512 was the biggest. I don't think there was a 1024 megabit cart.
So I'm interested now with the new cart that kind of starts
So-
the whole like discs were relatively secure. I mean, you had a reader that would not pick up if it wasn't burned at the right speed, right?
Right.
But now they're going back to this physical disc-driven media. I assume they're just going to be like solid states or some sort of flash card.
It's going to be
flash memory inside.
Yeah, it'll be like a
Right.
SD card.
Yeah, like an SD
Kind of.
card.
And
or-
I'm like totally fine with that because it is so much faster than a CD
Yeah, right.
or a
It
DVD.
loads,
Or
loads
How
so much faster.
How much? What's the load time difference?
I don't
between
know
the
for
two?
sure, but it is a lot better because you have solid
Right.
state chips and connections versus the laser having to read a spinning disc.
Right.
Yeah.
It's much faster.
I'm excited to see if
Um,
people do the same thing like they've done in the DS series, where they get a cart and they take
Hack it.
take the insides out and put like homebrew on there.
Oh,
and,
they're
like,
totally gonna
completely
do that.
boot the hardware, and then you can throw all the ROMs on there you want and play, through the system. That'd be pretty cool.
Would not surprise me.
But
Yeah.
that being said, the only load times that I've really had on Xbox One is when I'm playing Fallout 4, and even then, that's very
Well,
rare.
you're actually still you're talking apples to oranges with the Xbox and the PS4 as well, because each game has to be installed on the hard drive.
Right.
That is true.
It's
That is
not
true.
it's not reading it off the disc. If you want to get a
the
real
disc is just for authentication.
Yep. If you want to get a real feel of what it's like to play a game off a disc, you got to go get a PS2 or a regular Xbox or a GameCube
I remember those load times.
and play with that.
remember the load times on the
360.
original PlayStation? That was
Oh, they were
ridiculous.
forever.
Yeah.
PS2 load times were long too.
Yeah.
The PS3, some of those games cached to the hard drive, loaded on the hard drive, so there was times where it was faster than others. Like I remember when I finally got Metal Gear Solid 4 for the PS3,
Yeah.
I was super excited to play that, and I pop it in, and this was back when it wasn't normal to have to install the game to the hard drive.
Yeah.
And it required hard drive installation. So I pop it into play, and it's like another 25 minutes to install the game.
Oh, Skinny
Oh,
Tony must have
man.
been so disappointed.
Skinny Tony was very disappointed.
360,
Tony went outside.
360.
You know, that might be the reason why I'm Fat Tony now. Because
Well, and the-
during those 25 minutes, I went and ate a bag
You
of Cheetos.
needed those load
Right.
times.
And how did you describe it earlier? You don't touch them; you just pour them right into your face from the bag.
Yeah, so
'Cause
that's
you can't
how
get the cheese on your
there's,
on your hands.
There's two ways to eat Cheetos without having to wipe your hands off every
Go
time.
on. You had me at Cheetos.
So the first way is to not share the Cheetos with anyone and just pour the bag of Cheetos right into your mouth slowly each time you
While
want to
making
eat some
this
Cheetos.
noise.
Well,
Yep.
that's obvious.
Given.
The other way I saw online a little while ago is if you're good with chopsticks, you can use chopsticks to eat the Cheetos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, think about
Yeah.
that.
But it's so hard to keep them both in your hand. It's got to be like tweezers. You know?
So That would work good too.
I'd go
No,
for the
salad
shotgun.
tongs.
Salad tongs, right there. Jarron, you just solved the issue.
Cheeto tongs. We got to make some Cheetos tongs and sell them.
Cheetongs.
Right?
That
Cheetongs?
sounds,
Cheetongs.
that sounds racist for some reason.
Cheetongs.
Cheetongs. Tongs.
I love me my Cheetongs. I'm friends with my Cheetongs. Now get.
Oh man, we can't be angry at them though because those aren't real people.
These are Cheetongs.
Cheetongs isn't a real race.
I love my chickadee Cheetongs.
So rumors of the Switch is it's 720p capacitive multi-touch display.
Capacitive is a good step in the right direction because
Yeah.
the Wii U was resistive touchscreen.
Oh.
And so that meant
Explain what the difference is.
the difference is you have to push down. You actually have to push down on the screen because there's a thin membrane that has to make contact in between the panels.
The difference between a Palm Pilot and an iPhone.
Yeah. So capacitive just goes. It's registers the conductivity of your skin when you touch the screen.
What if I have non-conductive skin?
You do.
You are totally screwed. But
do.
everyone does.
Then you're
so-
not alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Actually, no. You can still.
Or
Dead
it's a
people still register.
Or it's a-
Really?
maybe it's a
Yeah.
prosthetic, or you've
It's
got
not-
a prosthetic hand.
It's
What if
not
I
that
have
it
a prosthetic
measures.
hand?
It's not that it measures your electricity. It just runs electricity through the skin.
Right.
Okay, we got to find a corpse
You're a
Well,
conductor.
Did you
and
not?
then try to make him
2 years
operate
ag-
an iPhone.
2 years ago, did you not see the thing up in Japan about the sausages?
I don't live in Japan.
It was on the internet all over the place.
Oh yeah, the Japan sausages.
Yeah. No, so there's these skinny hot dogs that Japan went crazy over for a while one winter because it was capacitive. And so they would buy these skinny hot dogs from vendors on the street and use it on their iPhones while they had gloves on their hands.
That's amazing.
That's a real thing, by the way.
Oh,
Only
I,
in Japan.
I love those guys.
So
What do you mean
I
those
love
guys?
me some
I love the
Japan
Japanese.
sausage.
Those guys.
I love the Cheetongs. What was the other thing? No, we talked about Tegra. Hopefully, it's between an Xbox One and a PS4. Oh, they showed off a bunch of new Breath of the Wild footage too.
That game looks.
The new Zelda
Amazing.
game.
I think I'm the
is so
only one
good.
that's not super excited
Get
about
out
that
of
game.
here!
You might be. the
Shut your
only
mouth. Get out of here!
I am the only one.
One. And
I'm tired of
then-
open world games, personally.
Well, have Super Smash Brothers and
What, you-
Mario Kart.
Earlier, you just said you were excited for the new Skyrim game.
Yeah.
Well, the remake of the old Skyrim
Yeah,
game.
but I just don't. I don't know. I like my linear Zelda.
I think this form factor is the perfect form factor for an open world game.
Oh, yeah.
If for like the story missions, you can put it up on the screen, get yourself immersed. For like the small stuff, you can just take it mobile and just.
I don't like degenerative weapons. I hate that. I hate that.
Nothing said it had to have degenerative
So
weapons.
is this going to compete with
Yes,
their
it does
mobile
have
line?
degenerative weapons. Weapons over
Yes.
the time.
Did they say that?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
they degenerate over time.
Well, it
Fallout does that, and I hate it with my whole heart.
Fallout 4 does not do that.
Fallout 4 doesn't, but
Fallout 4 3 did, and New
and
Vegas.
and it's awful.
Yeah.
So I think this
Sounds like you're just crying.
the Switch is going to compete with itself in the DS area, like the.
So, yeah, they-
Nintendo's already
No.
committed that they are still. They're already said they're committed to the 3DS still.
Okay.
I thought that they were going to start using the handheld games and going over to the mobile market.
So-
Well, they're going to do that too, but
I cannot wait to get. I will pay Nintendo. Listen. I will pay $60 for Pokemon Red or Pokemon Blue legally, not jailbroken on my phone. Please
I will,
put out now.
I will not pay $60 for that.
I will.
I will.
I
I
will
will-
look at the price and then see if I can find it cheaper, and then try and download.
I will pay $5 for that, maybe 10. Was there anything else about the Switch? There's a whole lot of controllers. That was the other thing. So you have the controllers that slide on the side,
make it look like a dog.
and then they have controllers that you can slide those onto another package-looking thing that puts paddles.
Yeah, that's
for
the
you
thing
to
that
hang
looks
on
like
to.
a dog.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they also showed off a Pro controller that you can get that looks a lot like an Xbox One controller, actually.
I wonder what kind of motion control and thing like that they're going to build into this, like, since you can hold it.
They'll probably have some. I hope there's not a lot, though.
yeah.
I'm done with motion control, honestly.
Yeah, I kind of agree with
Motion-
you. It's good for
Like, could
VR
you pick
though.
could you pick up the console and have that, and then play a racing game up
No,
on there, and
because
then have that be the steering
To
wheel?
have the game on the TV, the console has to be in the dock.
I see.
So
So
you
I've
won't
been
be able
asked
to
this
do
quite a
that.
bit. Is it going to become more powerful when it's plugged in, or is that just
No.
to port it up on the screen?
Well, it
well,
could.
so yeah,
because
so
in the patents that they registered for, they had a dock that added graphical capability.
however,
but-
they have said that the dock is just for video out and for power, but a mobile chip when it gets as much power as it needs it is more powerful.
That's true.
Yeah, but that being said, why is the dock shaped like a giant U, and why isn't it like the Wii U remote dock?
I don't know
if it really is like that.
Honestly,
do you still have the taste in your mouth still?
Yeah, it's terrible.
I think
that we got to get something to eat, guys.
I think that they made the dock the way they did because they didn't want the screen
to detract
from the TV.
So is that screen still going to be on once it's plugged in?
I don't know.
Probably not.
It would be stupid if it was, honestly, but maybe. I don't know.
Once we get done talking about this, I have one last little bit of gaming news that I just found out.
I think we're pretty much done with the Switch.
Guess what, guys?
Every aspect of it, so.
Yeah.
There is not going to be a season pass for Titanfall 2.
Yeah, they announced that months ago. It's great.
Never mind.
So-
This is not breaking news.
Battlefield
Move
1's
on.
really eating Titanfall's lunch, like as far as press goes, don't you think?
Titanfall comes out next week.
I thought it was out
2
already.
days.
I don't know.
Everything I just said, take it back.
By the time this episode comes out, Titanfall will be out.
Yeah. So it's eating its lunch because it hasn't come out yet.
I'm right.
But that being said, I really do think there are a lot of people that definitely blew their wad of money that they had
on
Battlefield.
Battlefield.
Like, I'm not going to buy Titanfall 2 because I blew my wad of money on Battlefield 1, and I don't have another $60 to spend. And on top of that,
I blew my wad,
Of money.
and
money.
now I'm spent.
So,
Spent your wad.
because Grand Theft Auto
Of
was
money.
on. Grand Theft Auto 5 was on sale the other day too for $40.
Yeah.
Finally on Xbox One, so I bought that. So
Have you started that yet? That is a fun.
So I've
fun game.
I played it several times. I bought it first on PS3 when it very, very first came out in 2013. How crazy is that? So I bought it in 2013, played it. I got the majority of the way through it, but I didn't finish it because I got an Xbox One. And then I bought it for Xbox One, had to start over, and there was a glitch in the game that wouldn't let me progress anymore in the story. And so I sold it on Glide, which is an awesome web service, mind you. And so I picked it up, and I could pick it up from the same place, but I think I'm going to start over again. So,
gaming question for you, Tony.
Yes.
So you got Forza 3.
Yeah.
How was it?
If you like racing games, it's top notch.
Did you get the free Warthog from Halo 3?
I did.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay. I don't. So, Jarron, did we tell this story on the air that you did not get as good of a deal? That you announced the deal that you found on Slick Deals, and then
No.
Tony got it?
Yes.
Yes. So
Did not.
So how much
This
was
is a
it?
sore subject.
So
to
how
me.
much was it? How much was the one you tried to get, Jarron?
So
$22.
$22 for Forza 3. That's a screaming deal.
it was the week it came out, too.
Yeah, it was a screaming deal.
why was it so cheap?
It looked like Target
Price mistake.
Yeah.
Target price mistaked and had it for $20, and then you could get the VIP car pass, the season pass, basically for another $10. So everything for $30.
Everybody jumped at the $20 one.
And everyone tried to buy the $20 one and said, forget it for the VIP car pass. And I saw it and I was like, I might as well get the VIP car pass too. Why the heck not?
It's like a $70 value.
It's
right?
like it was like $80 or $90 value for $30.
Right.
And so Jarron texts this out to all of us.
And I
he's
thought
like,
you were freaking bog fruiting me by not telling the truth.
And so I jump on and I look at it and I'm like, oh, cool. Hey, I'll get the VIP car pass too. Why the heck not? And I buy it. And Jarron buys it. And Owen buys it.
Yep.
And you didn't buy it, did you?
I did not buy it.
So within, I don't know, less than 2 minutes later, I get an email from Target that says, first of all, they said it would be digital delivery, so they'd email you
the
download code, and then within 2 minutes, I got an email that says your order is being held up. We're looking into a few things. Stand by.
Is that what they do with a lot of price mistakes?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So I thought for sure, bummer. They messed it up.
To
And
me,
I
that
didn't-
should be illegal. That after you pay for something, they should not be able to take the price
Right.
back. Like that was their mistake.
Yep.
But
I did not get that same email. So I
You never
thought
got the email?
mine was going through.
Yeah, I was sure that I hadn't gotten it, so I went to the movies with my wife, and
Like you do.
because
you're married
and then
and you're also straight.
I got out of the
And
movie
without kids.
Yeah, it makes it nice and easy.
Neither do I. High five.
High five.
Yay. Free time.
So I got out of the movie and I see these texts from Jarron
Oh
and
man,
Owen.
we had blasted all over through the IM channel we were on. We're just like, oh,
they canceled it. Oh, this sucks. And I hadn't checked my email and I was like, oh, they canceled it. Dang it. And then I'm walking out of the theater and I look in my email and there's 2 download codes.
Boom.
for the game and the VIP car pack. It went through for me.
Oh man!
So I was so desperate after that.
You were so pissed, Jarron.
He was so.
Jarron,
I've never seen Jarron so out of sorts.
he just like started typing letters and sending them, like not letters that mean anything, just incoherent keyboard smashing.
Yep.
He was so angry.
So why did it go through for you? Wait,
Who knows? So I was so mad.
They
that
just didn't catch the mistake on.
I found someone online whose order did go through, and I bought a code from him for $45. So he made a cool $23 off of me.
Regularly, would you guys have ever bought in this game? Are you guys really racing game friend?
Nope.
I was real.
See, I was planning on buying it for sure. Not for a while though. I was going to wait a few months and catch a deal on it later.
Once it came down in price,
exactly, because it has the Xbox Play Anywhere. So I was excited to play it on my PC with graphics.
I thought all
games
games that came out have Xbox Play Anywhere from here on out.
No. It's only first-party games that decide they want to do it.
What?
Now it is open to third-party games. If they decide they want to do it.
Is Battlefield 1 that way?
No, I wish. I would have already bought it. So anyway, I was planning on getting it, but not for a while. But at that deal, I jumped on it, and it went through.
I did want to get it, but because it's HDR compatible, and my new TV is HDR compatible, but not yet. It will be like 2 months from now. So I was going to wait till it's on sale, cheaper to get it once my TV is compatible.
You basically rage purchased it.
Yep,
I did.
Well, and
you showed them, Jarron.
I did.
And remind people what the app is that you found that deal price on, because it's a pretty cool app. I've been addicted to it since
Deals.
Yeah, so Slick Deals is the app you can get. It's pretty cool. I'm not as obsessed with these two, but
I check Slick Deals probably 6 times a day.
Yep.
I don't buy stuff off it a lot. Maybe once every other month I'll buy something off of it.
I wait for you guys to tell me stuff. I've actually had the one. I did have the one time where they had the monitor priced wrong. It was pretty cool.
Oh, guys, it's on sale again. It's $20 on Slick Deals.
You're lying there.
Yeah, I am.
Yep.
Just trying to get rid.
All right, let's hit on real quick. We're going to do the BS, and we're going to talk about Google Fiber.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything on? Oh, and you didn't add anything to the notes, did you?
Never mind. I did the Google Fiber.
Oh, okay.
I did the DYN DNS. I did the Zelda Symphony.
I said that I was going to rate Battlefield 1. Remember at the beginning of the episode?
Let's on the next episode we'll talk about the DYN DDoS attack.
That was pretty cool.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
We're almost out of time though. So real quick, who put the BS in the notes?
It was I.
Okay,
Jarron.
Talk about it. This is where you talk about it. This is the part where you talk about.
My name's Jarron.
You didn't read the article, did you? You just copied and posted the link.
No,
I didn't do that
I
either.
read it, but it was a week ago.
I rage buy video games.
And rage post links.
You guys want to hear about my HDR TV? It's compatible.
That doesn't have game compatibility yet.
So, ignoring all of that as I normally do, researchers are claiming that lithium metal electrodes could increase the storage capacity of batteries tenfold.
Ooh.
So, an electric car could theoretically drive from New York to Denver without recharging.
I want some of that action.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Who's doing this research that we'll never see?
University of Michigan.
Okay.
It's always one of those universities.
Thanks a lot.
Yep. So
college kids have a lot of time.
That mythical, amazing battery that's never going to come to fruition.
Still
Thank
mythical.
you guys for keeping going. That was weird.
That was one of the worst sentences
going.
you've ever said. All right.
The truth is, I gotta pee. We've been podcasting forever.
Don't you mean pee casting?
I gotta do some pee casting, and the taste of this drink is still in my throat, and I'm hungry, and we may not be able to go to lunch now.
Dinner.
But it's dinner.
It's true, we won't.
Hey, you're in luck. We're about to wrap up.
All right, let's do it.
Google Fiber.
Google Fiber. Yep. So, real quick. Sorry, Google
Fiber.
Fiber.
Did you get Google Fiber?
No, I have
Google Fiber.
I have fiber at my house, but I do not have Google Fiber. Google Fiber recently started coming to Provo here down in Utah, and some places in Salt Lake, right?
Yep.
And poor Google hopefuls now are sad because they are pulling the plug a little bit.
They're scaling back.
They're scaling back,
which means they're pulling the plug.
Which means that's Alphabet, aka Google's term for. This was not as profitable as we thought it was going to be.
Google is doing what they have done every single time in the past 15 years of them being a company.
It's true.
They announce something awesome. They don't get the traction they want as fast as they want. So they pull the plug and piss people off.
What were they looking for? Everybody loves Google Fiber.
Everybody.
I'm not entirely sure why. If I obviously don't have access to their accounting numbers to see why they're doing this, but I'm sure it's related to that somehow, if you ask me. But the interesting thing, too, I read is that they are scaling back on the fiber deployment, but supposedly they are getting ready to push deployment of 5G.
Yeah.
5G wireless connectivity that they think is going to be the future of in-home internet.
Yeah.
It will be 5G routers in your house that broadcast to the tower.
So any place that has any place they launched Google Fiber,
you still have
still gets it, and they're still accepting requests and whatever.
Right.
But they have announced that they're going to turn it off for any of the announced ones, like Los Angeles, Portland, Oregon, and those a handful of other cities are all
SOL.
Sorry, they're laying off like 9% of their staff on this for all the people that handled Google Fiber, which if they were going to continue it, I wouldn't think that they would lay off their staff for it.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Google Fiber.
I just don't understand what are they looking for? Like every time they announce a new area, I see a bunch of pictures on Reddit about like goodbye Comcast or Time Warner.
Well, there's tons
of
dark fiber out there already that got laid and just never used, never lit up. Like nobody ever picked it up, and a lot of cities are eating the cost on that because a lot of these people were like, "Oh, get fiber installed." I know the city where I live, Centerville. There's a big scandal about one of the providers up there, Utopia, that talked the city into putting fiber to the home. They put a post outside every house in Centerville, and there's a single fiber handoff out straight in everybody's home.
Wow.
And that's how you get your fiber. That's how you get your fiber connection. And so, but you have to pay for it. And I had to pay to have it trenched to my house, $3,000. $3,000, and you can't do it yourself.
Go pee really quick.
$3,000, and they send somebody out, trench your yard, and run a fiber line from the post that you're on at your property into your house.
That's crazy.
It was crazy.
Crazy.
Guys, we got to wrap up.
We do.
Yeah, we're done.
Jaren's going to wet his
pants.
pants.
This is now the longest podcast we've ever recorded.
Oh, yeah.
What's the timestamp?
91 minutes right now.
Ooh, 91.
See what I mean?
Yep.
Okay, we got to get out of here.
All right. Owen, take us out.
Hey, guys, we hope you care.